said back there about wanting to see you again, face to face. I want you to know I meant it.
Hey gamers! Hello, hello, hello. Let's talk about the human condition just for a while, just for a little bit. Now, we have love, we have beauty, we have friends and family, we have all the good experiences in life. And outside of that, there's the notion that at some point it will all end. And that is a problem. And that is why people try to escape from this notion, from the notion that although life can be beautiful, it also brings some suffering and pain and loss and everything that's not very pleasant. Now, people wish to find various systems, various ways of combating this situation. Whether it's diving into work or, finding some meaning in charity work, maybe in religion, maybe in politics, whatever that may be, that these are systems that help us swallow the harsh reality. Now, is it connected to a game? I mean, this is a gaming channel, right? It's not philosophical, psychological, or right? We're in the good place. Yes, we are. But the game that I wish to talk about today, Transistor, speaks about all of that in a subtle manner. It doesn't throw the topic, the entire thing into your face like I do right now. No, it's a game, honestly, believe me, and it's a good one. And in this series that I wish to call New Game Gravity, I wish to pull you away from the suffering and present to you Transistor. Let's go and see what the game is about. And I promise, no more talks like this. Maybe just a bit. Maybe just a few. A few words, okay? Come on, let's go. Now, the footage that you see here is taken from me streaming the game, so don't worry if you see any strange expressions on my face. Initially, I wanted to tell you gamers more about the Transistor experience as I played live, but this didn't allow me to focus on neither. Usually it's best not to hold on to any poor decisions for too long, whether we're speaking about life, or games, or both. Anyway, as you can see from this footage, Transistor is set in a cyberpunk future, which you experience from the perspective of our protagonist, Red, a famous songstress in the city. At the very core, the gameplay is all about traveling the city of Cloudbank and fighting spawns of the process. It's an action-packed role-playing game which uses the isometric point of view. During the game, you obtain new skills, functions, which allow you to customize how you handle your fight with the process and its little but deadly minions. The game appears to throw you into these quick-paced battles, and it does do that in fact. However, thanks to the ability to freeze time, you may take a moment to consider what will be your next combat scenario. For me, a casual gamer, this was something I very much needed to win most of the battles really. And indeed, it's nice to see a connection of a dynamic gameplay with turn-based strategizing. Now, Transistor's story is immersive and offers a few philosophical points for those who enjoy considering these things in gaming. But as mentioned at the beginning, this isn't shoved down the player's throat, so if you're concerned with that, there's absolutely no need to worry. For example, the eponymous Transistor is a man's consciousness put inside a mysterious sword-like device. He's the game's narrator and serves as Red's voice, since her own was taken away from her. She, on the other hand, allows him to actually move, since he lost his body. This connection shows how human beings are sometimes able to fill in their own gaps, the cracks in their existence, and thanks to that grow together, thrive, or maybe even dismantle an oppressive system, much like during the course of this great gaming experience. Of course, what I just said isn't something said out loud in the game. It's just something you find after giving it a thought or two, which, in my opinion, is a great way to go in various works of art. It's like when adults watch kids' cartoons and discover themes buried a bit deeper beneath the surface and find them funny, enjoyable, or applicable to their grown up life. Ideas which only grow when the soil is able to handle them, if you will. Since I've talked about the gameplay and the story, the next big thing when considering Transistor is the game's music. My goodness gamers, you hear that in the background, and I'll be honest with you on this one. Probably the only reason I know about this game is the music in it. Somewhere back in 2015, when the game was released, YouTube's chaotic algorithm had recommended me the official soundtrack of Transistor. I've listened to it, and it was love at first sight. Or rather, love at first hear. The soundtrack is mostly electronic music with just a few vocal tracks, which for me heavily strike an emotional note somewhere deep within. I love it, adore it, would fight for its continued existence within the frame of my being. Yeah, I've put some strong words out there, but that's how I feel about Transistor's music. The soundtrack itself can be found both on Spotify and YouTube. But before you jump into checking it out, wait a moment. I wouldn't recommend listening to it if you have any plans to play the game. First play the game, then circle back to listening the soundtrack. Honestly, it just enhances the gaming experience by a ton. Transistor wouldn't be the same awesome game if it wasn't for its music. Oh, and the vocal tracks? They may include some spoilers. So yeah, you've been warned. And it was recommended. And you've been warned. A warned recommendation. What? You may think, what's up with this guy? I'm not going to wait and attempt to clear an entire game just to listen to its music. But this is the last point which I wish to raise in this new game gravity recommendation. Transistor is not a long game. And it's not a game that you will need to spend many hours on to clear. Nope. You know, in the times of many AAA games which do their best to make you feel you've happily spent many bucks, and due to this often unnecessarily prolong the gaming experience, Transistor appears like a gust of fresh air. I feel this is a pro rather than a con. You know, many of us are not kids anymore, so sometimes we may wish to devote our only day off to experience a game. Here, you should be able to swallow the whole gaming package in one sitting, if you're inclined to do that. So, if this new game gravity video recommending Transistor has pulled you in, you can play the game on your PC, PS4, iOS devices, and the Nintendo Switch, whichever you own. The developer and publisher of Transistor is Supergiant Games, a studio which also released Bastion, Pyre, and Hades, games which I may also present in the future when I check them out. Now, at the very end of the video, I would like to thank you, dear viewer, precious gamer, for sticking around. Since I'm just starting off as a gaming content creator, any follows, likes, or comments are of great support. So, please let me know if the gravity of me recommending Transistor has pulled you in the comments below. Maybe you've already played it. Well, it's not a new release, right? If so, share anything that you liked about it. Or, if you picked it up and didn't enjoy it, drop a line below and tell us why. This was Collapsaea's new game Gravity. You may find me on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. See you next time!